Jason first heard about the midnight vendor during a late-night study session in his dorm. His roommate Ben was full of weird stories, and this one was no exception. "Dude, I'm telling you," Ben said, gesturing wildly. "This old vendor shows up at midnight on the corner of Maple and 7th. Her stuff? Totally magical. But she doesn't want money. She takes something else, something personal." Jason rolled his eyes. "Yeah, sure. Next you'll tell me she sells genies in a bottle or enchanted lamps." Ben grinned. "Laugh all you want, but why don't you go check it out? Midnight tonight, unless you're too chicken." Jason wasn't one to back down from a challenge. That's how he found himself standing at the corner of Maple and 7th at exactly 11:59 p.m. The street was eerily quiet, save for the soft hum of a flickering street lamp. At first there was nothing, but as the clock struck midnight, Jason noticed a faint glow in the distance. He blinked, and suddenly, there it was. A tiny stall, covered in an assortment of strange trinkets, run by an old woman draped in scarves. Her eyes glinted like polished coins as she beckoned him closer. "Come," she said, her voice raspy yet melodic. "I've been expecting you." Jason hesitated. "How do you know I'd be here?" She chuckled. "I know more than you think, boy. Now choose wisely. Each item carries a price, but the rewards are priceless." Jason scanned the stall. There were pocket watches that seemed to tick backward, a jar filled with tiny floating lights, and even a mirror that didn't reflect his face but instead showed a dense, foggy forest. Then his eyes landed on a small golden compass. "What about this?" Jason asked, picking it up. "Ah," the woman said, her smile widening. "The compass of true desire. It will point you toward whatever your heart longs for most." Jason's curiosity was piqued. "And what's the price?" The woman leaned in close. "Oh, you'll find out soon enough. Do you wish to take it?" Against his better judgment, Jason nodded. She handed it over with a grin that sent chills down his spine. Back in his dorm, Jason couldn't wait to test the compass. He held it steady, and the needle began to spin wildly before locking onto a direction. Heart pounding, he followed it. The compass led him through the city, past closed shops and empty streets, until he arrived at the university library. Confused but intrigued, Jason stepped inside. That's when he saw her, Ella, the girl he'd been crushing on for months, sitting alone with her headphones on. Jason froze. Was this what his heart truly desired? He stared at her for a moment before taking a deep breath and walking over. "Hey, Ella," he said awkwardly. "What are you working on?" She looked up, surprised, but smiled. "Oh, just some late-night studying. What about you?" I was out for a walk," Jason lied. They talked for hours. Jason couldn't believe how easy it was to connect with her. By the time they left the library, they had made plans to grab coffee the next day. Jason was on cloud 9 until he got back to his dorm. As he reached for his phone to tell Ben what had happened, he realized it was gone. So was his laptop and his wallet. He searched everywhere but found nothing. It was as if they had vanished into thin air. Then, like a whisper on the wind, he heard the vendor's voice. "Every desire has a cost." Jason groaned. He'd traded all his possessions for one magical moment of courage. But as he lay in bed staring at the ceiling, he couldn't help but smile. Ella had said yes to coffee. "Totally worth it," he muttered before drifting off to sleep. The next day, Jason found something even stranger. The compass was back on his desk, its needle pointing somewhere new. And so began Jason's adventures with the compass of true desire, each journey bringing him closer to what he wanted, but always at a price he couldn't predict.